All right, let's get right into it. AI is completely shaking up the world of data analytics. And if you want to build a real career in this new world, you're going to need a new game plan. So, we're breaking down a strategic blueprint to help you not just survive, but actually thrive and get paid what you're worth by 2026. Let's do this. First things first, let's tackle the biggest question on everyone's mind. Is AI going to take my job? Well, here's a really powerful way to think about it. AI isn't really replacing you, it's just automating all the boring, repetitive stuff. And what that means is that the game is no longer about who can click the right buttons. The real game is about who can actually think critically and strategically with the data that AI is now helping us process. And that brings us to this massive change happening across the entire industry. It's this big shift away from just doing work to solving decisions. Think about it. If AI can handle all the manual, tedious tasks, our real value, where we can really make an impact, comes from using our human brains to tackle the tough, complex business challenges. This slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? You've got two paths. On the left, you have the button pusher, whose world of manual tasks is, frankly, becoming obsolete. But on the right, you have the decision solver. Now, this is the future. This is where the real value is, and let's be honest, where the bigger paycheck is. It's all about using your unique human judgment to ask the right questions and deliver recommendations that actually move the business forward. So the big question is, how do you become that invaluable decision solver? Well, we've got your new blueprint right here. Let's walk through the 5 critical moves you absolutely need to make to be in super high demand in this new AI era. All right, move number 1 is all about learning something called decision framing. You need to start thinking of yourself as a translator. So a manager comes to you and says something vague like, our customer retention feels really weak. Your job is to translate that pain point into a super specific, measurable question like, okay, which specific customer segment has the highest churn rate this quarter? From there, you can define a metric and then propose an action. This simple question to metric to action workflow, it's going to be your new best friend. Your second move is absolutely crucial. You have to validate everything with real business logic. You see, AI is amazing at finding patterns. It might spit out a report that says, hey, customer churn goes up when website visits go down. Okay, that's a correlation. But your job, the human job, is to ask why. You're the one who provides the real-world context, the one who says, that's because we just had a price increase, or that's when our biggest competitor launched a huge sale. That human insight, that's irreplaceable. Coming in at number 3, you've got to prove you can actually apply these skills in the real world. So build some case studies. Pick an industry you actually care about, banking, retail, whatever, and solve a real problem. And here's a pro tip, make it local. A project that's laser focused on a Nigerian bank is going to be way more powerful and compelling to a local employer than some generic global example you downloaded. This 4th move is a total game changer. You need to start shipping outcomes, not just reports. Look, a manager doesn't need another 20-page deck full of charts. They're busy. What they need is a clear recommendation. What should we do? What's the potential return on investment? What are the immediate next steps? And what's the one single KPI we should all be watching? When you start answering those questions, your work becomes incredibly valuable. And our final move, number 5, build trust through transparency. And what that really means is documenting your assumptions. This isn't about showing off every single line of code you wrote. No, it's about being clear and upfront about your methodology so that when you make that big, bold recommendation, your manager has the confidence to look at you and say, yes, let's do it. And you know what? It can be this simple. A single checklist slide, just like this one, instantly makes your work look 10 times more professional. Where'd the data come from? What filters did you apply? What was the time frame? And importantly, what are the limitations or caveats? Answering these questions right up front shows you've done your homework, and it builds immediate trust. So that's the 5-part strategy, but theory is pretty useless without action. So let's break it down into a super simple 3-step starter path, so you can literally begin building these skills today. Here it is, a simple 3-step plan for your very first project. First, just pick a domain you're genuinely interested in. It'll make the work so much more fun. Second, go find a messy real-world dataset. Trust me, the mess is where the best learning happens. And third, remember your goal isn't some perfect, exhaustive report. It's to deliver one single concrete recommendation with a simple ROI estimate. That one project is going to be more valuable on your resume than 10 online certificates. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's simple, really. Your new job is telling AI what to do. You're the one who provides the questions, the context, and the strategy. You are the commander, not just the operator of the tool. And that leaves us with this final thought. The future isn't about competing against AI, it's about collaborating with it. The power is shifting to the people who can direct this incredible tool to solve real, meaningful problems. So the question really isn't if AI is coming for your job. The real question is, are you ready to be the one giving it the orders?